Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Although I have not successfully done like my first set, I feel like my whole personality is gonna revolve around the DIY dip nails at home. I have been seeing all these like super cute videos online on TikTok, all the things of girls doing their nails at home, or even going to like a independent salon owner, I guess like a gal who just does like nails in her home. I have become so disheartened with like going to the nail salon and requesting a certain set or a certain design, and the like overall aesthetic isn't exactly what I was looking for or wasn't done in a way. I also am super rough on my nails, and I feel like as soon as I get a cute set, then I'm like instantly damaging them. Okay, like I am washing dishes, or I'm like canning, or honestly just like chewing on them. And I haven't like yet to figure out a way that I can keep my nails like cute without paying $100 every 2 weeks, right? And I finally took the plunge. I was like, you know what? I want to try it. I've not tried it yet. After this podcast, I will be attempting my first set, but I just got back from Ulta. I did a little shopping experience, and I'm kind of sad to say that the gal at Ulta was like, oh my gosh, you're almost to 1,000 points. Like you should wait to cash out your points until you get to 1,000 so you can get $50. I was like, okay, cool. But I do want to know that I'm pretty sure points expire at the end of the year. And so like, did these points, I haven't been counting my Ulta trips, but maybe I should be. Maybe I should be budgeting my Ulta experience a little bit better. But I will say, these dip nail sets, I went in like last Friday. I had supper with my mother and father-in-law, and I wanted to go to Ulta that day, but I was like, you know what, no, let's go the next day. And I ended up going today, and this time they were on sale. And last time I went, they were not on sale. So the multiple trips to Ulta is honestly like, it's a little bit of a bad habit, but also a good habit, because if I didn't go multiple times, I wouldn't have known that these dip nails were now on sale. And I get in this bad habit because my yoga studio is essentially right next to an Ulta. So I'm like, perfect, I will stop there, I will just grab some things. And I ended up getting like this red, it's like Red Room or something nail kit. It came with like a little set. It came with red dip nail polish, not polish, I guess red dip powder. And I got a pink one as well, pink and red. We're going into February. I know it's still early January, but I feel like so many of us are already like in the Valentine's Day mood. Or maybe it's just like my pre-planning for my Golden Gal Network event for Valentine's Day. It's just like ingrained in my head. Red nail theory is like huge right now. It was like this last summer. So I figured that the red nail dip was good, and so is the pink. Like, yeah, ever so often want to do a pink nail dip. And I'm excited to try it. I've never done it before on my own nails. I've never even done gel at home or anything like that, but I am pretty good at painting my nails. I've painted my nails since I was, very young. Which brings me to the children at Sephora phenomenon that everybody is talking about on TikTok. Okay, I personally, like, this might be a hot take, but I feel like we are tearing down the youth for no reason. Now, I do not agree with destroying the displays, right? Like, I don't think that damaging the testers is good, and I think that all boils down to like, their parenting and things like that. But I don't see the problem with children going to Sephora or Ulta or any sort of makeup store. I personally remember my mom having like Mary Kay parties at our house, right? Like one of her friends sold Mary Kay, and I remember having all of the like little free trials, and at a very early age just like experimenting with blue eyeshadow, red lipstick, like that came in these tester packets. And I even remember, this is like a very core memory, I had like chapstick in my little clutch. Like I'm a child at this point, 6 or 7, because my little baby sister Lily was like an infant at this time. So I know I was probably 7, right? And I remember like applying lipstick, and we were at like this, because my stepdad was in the military, we were at this like, oh my gosh, it was for all like the, not parentals, oh my gosh, for the spouses. It was like spouse support or whatever. A lot of families had children at the time, and I was like with the other kids. And I remember one of the mothers being like, "Ah, she has chapstick," like, or, "Oh my gosh, is she supposed to have lipstick?" or something like that. Like completely, like I remember her like jerking it out of my hands, and my mother going, "Oh, chapstick? No, that's fine." So like at a very early age, I got to play around with it. Now this doesn't mean I got to wear it to school. I had clear mascara. I would gel my eyebrows. Actually, I gelled my eyebrows as like a kid in middle school. I remember gelling my eyebrows because one of my eyebrows is kind of wonky, and it would always lay like flat. It wouldn't like poke up like the other one. Anyways, I always got to experiment with nail polish and makeup, and washing my face and watching my mother, and it's one of my like favorite childhood memories. And I don't think that I was, when I think back to like being 7, 6, 5, whatever time I was playing with makeup, experiencing girlhood, pretending I was a Disney princess, none of those memories include me wanting to be older, right? Like I really didn't experience that until I was 15 or 16, looking at people on the movies thinking, oh my gosh, like I wish I was 13 going on 30. I wish that I was, 21 and drinking. Like I didn't experience any of that until high school, right? And I instead like looked towards these like women wearing makeup and these women, experimenting in their looks. Like I just like wanted to feel beautiful, like, or even have the creativity or mimicking my mother of like putting on makeup every single day. And it also was kind of like a identity thing. Like you're searching and kind of growing into yourself, you're coming of age. And I know a lot of people are hot about the 10-year-olds and Sephora. And really and truly, where are 10-year-olds supposed to go? We don't really have a, what was it, Libby Lou's? I remember my stepmother at the time taking me to like Libby Lou's, and I got like a body butter, and I had my makeup done, and I had like this weird ass hairstyle, like, and it was fun. Like but I haven't seen a Libby Lou. Like I know there's like Victoria or is it Justice? What the heck? I can't even remember. But I feel like we aren't marketing separate products to preteens anymore. And I think that they just want to be a part of girlhood too. They want to feel beautiful. They want to experiment. And maybe some of them are wanting to be older, right? We've all gone through that where we're wearing eyeliner and we're wearing our hair a certain way to mimic, people we look up to. But I really don't think that bashing them on social media or even just like completely, I don't know, like it's just not good energy. And I don't think that that's how we should be supporting the next generation of women. For me, that is like tearing down a little sister. And maybe I have this perspective because I have younger siblings. Lily is 7 years younger than me. Brody will be 15 on the day that this podcast goes out. Actually, happy birthday, Brody. But I have younger siblings. And maybe as like an older sister, I just have this mindset. But I would never want to tear them down or make them feel dumb for trying to mimic something that I've done or something that they look up to. And I honestly feel like it's mean girl energy. Like I really do. Like people and creators on TikTok just being like, oh my gosh, like I am a 10-year-old, like going to Sephora. Like I get it. Destruction of property is not, I'm not condoning that. Okay. We should not be, you know, trashing the displays, but how are we to teach the younger generation to like have any sort of pride with their looks, right? Like, or to feel confident enough to have a skincare routine, right? And what is being portrayed on social media but skincare routines, being that girl, having, you know, your Stanley Cup. And I would encourage it. Oh my gosh. And I'm thinking about my children, future children. And I'm just like, how sad would it be if I had a daughter who was so excited, who saved up her babysitting money, or maybe I gave her some money to go to Sephora, right? Maybe I was like, you know what, like, happy birthday, here's $50. Or, you know what, you got an A on your math. Math was something that I struggled with as a kid. You got an A on your math test. Like, let's go shopping, you know, let's go get some makeup. And I want you to feel good about yourself, because I feel good about myself when I take care of myself, when I get a facial, when I shampoo my hair with like my good smelling shampoo, when I put on that blush that, you know, makes me feel cheery and happy. And I would hate it that if this was like such a good, happy thing for me and my daughter, or even my daughter if she has sisters, like any of those things, to then like go on social media, which social media as a whole, like if you're gonna be on social media, you have to have the mindset that there's gonna be things on there that is not going to be uplifting, right? But that's a whole other story on its own. On like social media should be a place where we condone happiness and we lift each other up, right? So I'm not even gonna get into all the other things of that. But to go on social media and think like, oh, this creator, say a makeup influencer that my daughter has been following for months, and me, her mother, finally gives her the opportunity to buy Drunk Elephant skincare, or to buy the Tasha Beauty, or the Milk, or Rare Beauty, any of these products that people are being like, oh, like they're all sold out, like, oh, so sorry. And then that influencer is like, making a joke about the 10-year-olds going into Sephora and buying the products that they are promoting themselves. Like, where is the line drawn of, okay, who are you even supposed to be inspiring? Like, just women who are just like you? I personally want to take the take of, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you are 10, if you are 30, if you are 60 years old consuming my content, like I want you to feel like you are a part of my friend group, like you're a part of my community, and you don't have to fit in a certain box to enjoy girlhood, to build community on, I love that Rare Beauty blush and so do you. Like this is a perfect opportunity to be building each other up and to connect on a deeper level that, you know, we haven't even connected on. And I think that it could bring us together. It's already so hard being someone who loves makeup and skincare or the girly things, and people wanting to suck the joy right out. Having any sort of hobby, right? Like as a kid, and I was thinking about this last night, you only get so long before you don't like toys anymore, right? And I remember the transition from toys to clothes and makeup and asking for those things and being excited about it. It doesn't matter if it was leggings or, yeah, back then I can't even, I guess like it was Uggs, right? It was Uggs, it was Victoria's Secret body spray. It was, you know, I don't know. Any of the things that I was excited about as a preteen or a young teen or into, you know, high school and adulthood, if your friends have it, like you want it too. And I have a Stanley Cup, okay? I love my Stanley Cup and I drink so much water. I also feel a part of the gals when I have a Stanley Cup, and when I go to yoga class, my best friend also has a Stanley class. I don't know, like It builds community, and we should not be tearing someone down, even if they are 10, even if they are 8. Like, what does that say? That is fostering like division between the age groups. We shouldn't be doing that. Oh my gosh, like I would love to, instead of, and I'm thinking of this as like my sisters, right? I have 3 beautiful sisters. I'm thinking of, okay, if I enjoy a makeup product, if I enjoy getting my hair done or my nails done or something, and one of my younger sisters, because all of my sisters are younger than me, took interest in that, I would not want to tear them down about it. I would encourage it. And maybe that's just me, even like cousins, anybody. And I think, and you know what, this, you can say that you're on social media not to influence people, to just say your own story, but no matter what, people are watching. And it all goes down to like your core values and who you are when no one is looking and who you are when everybody is looking. And you can say, you know what, like it's not my fault that they look up to me, and you know what, they bought the same blush that I have, but I'm not condoning that they buy the same blush that I'm wearing. But really and truly, everyone is watching whether you like it or not. I guess it really just boils down to what kind of person you are, and if you are someone who lifts other people up, or if you're someone who wants to gatekeep and be a bully and not a real girl's girl. I don't know, like that's your choice. And if you want to bully literal children on the internet for having interest in anything that other people that they look up to is also interested in, makeup, skincare, whatever. Am I saying that 10-year-olds need to be using retinol? No. But I remember my first jar of cold cream, and I was probably way too young to be using Pond's cold cream, okay? I think I was like 13 or 14. Okay, it's the same concept. Like, who cares? They want to pamper themselves. They want to like look and care after themselves. And I really think that we should be supporting this. I don't believe in the destruction of any of the, testers. I love the testers. I like to make sure that the concealer or foundation that I'm picking up is going to match my skin tone. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I really just think that we as a community of skincare or makeup lovers should be doing better for the next generation. And you also never know, like, the inspiration that a child gets. Like, think of it if they had like a childhood that really just promoted skincare or makeup or whatever they found interest or joy in, and then they create a new makeup line that as a, at this time I'll be like 40 or something year old woman, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have been dying to find something that reduces the wrinkles underneath my eye. And the child, who was 8 or 10 or whatever, who started having this love of makeup and grew up to be like an amazing chemist to make, I don't know, like a product I needed, would then I want this 20-year-old or 25-year-old prodigy to be like, actually this product is only for 20-year-olds, okay? Like no 45-year-olds. Again, it's a free market. We can buy whatever we want. And if the parents of these children are funding their little expenses or trips, like more power to them, okay? I hope to be that parent that has disposable income to let my child, have a 10-step skincare routine. And they're not your kids, so like, don't even worry about it. They're not even your children. So I think that we need to do better and not have just such a like scarcity mindset around the makeup or having something that's just for you, right? Like there was plenty of children out and about in Ulta when I was picking up my my nail dip. Okay, I just think that on its own is just something that baffles me about the children in Sephora. Okay, next, let's get on with our peek and pit of the week. First week of January went so well. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. It is because for the month of December, I did not hardly have an evening to myself. I have been running around, I have been, you know, editing videos, I did Vlogmas, and I was also like going to nighttime workouts, which I love a good nighttime routine. I've been kind of struggling to go to those early morning workout classes. So for me, like to have a class that I can go after work, I've been loving that, but it has been cutting into my evening, and I have not like had a time to just hang out on the couch. I have not been able to watch any shows and I didn't honestly watch that many Christmas movies this year. I had like high hopes to watch like a few Christmas movies, and like a couple of those slipped through the cracks. And I'm just like, okay, like I needed a bit of like a reset. And this past week I've done exactly that. I have been more gentle with myself. I have caught up on The Bear. So if you have not watched The Bear, it's on Hulu. It's about a young chef who takes over his family restaurant, and we watched season 1 and season 2. I think we did start it like the week of Christmas. So honestly, I've had about 2 weeks of just like snooze and relaxation and having like evenings, because the 25th of Christmas I stopped with the daily vlogs. So yeah, the past 2 weeks have been really amazing just to have that time to not rot. Like I will say, I've done plenty of rotting. I've not gotten a weekend nap in yet. I'm still hoping to do that. That's like one of my favorite things, to have a nap on the weekends. Just like that leisurely, everything is done, nothing needs to be tended to energy, and I have accomplished that. Okay, the last 2 weeks have been amazing. I've been able to just like chill on the couch and like I said, watch The Bear. I am ready for season 3, and it kind of aligned because we watched season 1 and season 2, and then around this time Jeremy Allen White dropped his like Calvin Klein ad, and that was everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, like because of his success on The Bear, obviously he got this campaign. So but yeah, it's been fun. I did enjoy The Bear season or series, both seasons, whatever you want to call it. But I will say that the energy in that restaurant is absolutely too chaotic for me. And I found like a couple, when we were watching it, I was like, okay, like I need to settle down for bed, and this is doing nothing for my cortisol levels. Like I would be watching it and having to remind myself that I'm not in the restaurant business. I am not a part of the show. I am not, I do not need to experience the panic that the characters on the TV in front of me are experiencing. I have to like take out the empathetic side of myself, thinking, oh my gosh, if I was in this situation, like what would I do, and running around and doing this and that. And I had to like remind myself, like, take a deep breath. You are not in the movie. It is not about you. You do not have to be stressed for no reason. And I was like, okay, take a little pause. That was like my only complaint about The Bear. It's like, why is it so stressful? Why is everyone yelling at everybody? Why is there no like emotional regulation? Come on, like do a little cold plunge or something, because everyone was out of whack. And I get it, like you're taking over your family business, that can be stressful. People can be a little bit crazy in your family, and working with family, it's always difficult, it's always hard. So I get that aspect, but the yelling at each other, I'm like, I cannot communicate in that way. Okay, I don't like to yell. I like to convey my, thoughts and feelings in a very like well-mannered way. That's not to say I don't like get frustrated and like raise my voice at times, but like the constant screaming at each other, I'm like, oof, let's take a little snooze, a little break, a little breather on this. It's not that deep, right? But yeah, just like having the thought and having the feeling of there's nothing that I need to be doing. And this week like was exactly that. I really didn't have to be doing anything. It was things that I wanted to do. And my Christmas stuff was put away, so it was really just like upkeep of like a normal house. It wasn't like, oh, I still have to take down the Christmas stuff. I have to clean up around our Christmas decorations. It was really just, okay, it's the start of the new year. We can focus on me. We can focus on the things that I want to focus on and not like the hustle and bustle of the holidays, which was amazing. In January, really, there's no like super big holidays for me. No like trips, nothing planned. February is a different thing. But yeah, I've been loving that. That's like my peak of the year is I've gotten to just hang out with Garrett and the dogs on the couch and not have this like stress I should be doing something, because I struggle with that of a procrastinating or a over ambitious like archetype where I'm like, okay, like I can always be doing more, and realizing that I can accomplish a lot in a little bit of a time. But those times of relaxation, those times of peace are just as important as running around and being productive and executing on your goals. It is just as important to relax and take a deep breath and be where your feet are in comparison to trying to be present, trying to be where your feet are, and instead like you were hyper fixated on the things that you should be doing or the things that you could be catching up on. I mean, I of course have goals and ambitions for 2024, but I know that I can't do them all immediately. I could not accomplish them in 31 days, right? I can't accomplish them all in the first month of the year. That's not to say that I shouldn't be having realistic expectations of myself, but it's always a thing of we overestimate how much we can accomplish in 5 years, and we underestimate the amount we can accomplish in 6 months. And so I am trying to find the balance between, okay, like these are my big goals, how do I accomplish them, and what can I be doing to help implement the routines that are going to take to accomplish the goal, but also like, okay, can we take a breather? Like, can we take a little rest and not feel bad about taking a rest? Like truly just taking that very intuitive, again, I think that might be my word of the year. I don't know. We will see. We will let it reveal itself to me, but trying to just trust my intuition and trust that what I need to be doing is going to come to me. We're going to work really, really hard, but we're not going to stress about it, and we're going to allow these times of gentleness. Which brings me to my pit. I still have cranberries in my crisper. I bought discounted cranberries. It was like after like Thanksgiving, Christmas. They've been in my crisper for a while. They're still looking fine, I will say that, but the cranberries are getting a little old. And I had this expectation, or had this vision of canning cranberry juice. Cranberries are always on sale after Thanksgiving, and I want to say that I waited like a couple weeks after Thanksgiving when they were on sale. So I've had them for about a month, cranberries, okay? I don't know. They've been in the bottom of my crisper. They aren't going bad, like they're fine. They're still like squishy, but it's about time that I do something with them. But I haven't found the time. I really haven't. And I keep looking at the cranberries. I've been cleaning out sections of our fridge because with the holidays, like you're always gonna have like snacks and food and old Tupperware shoved in the back behind the milk, or, things that have leaked a little bit. I had some, strawberries that started to get really bad, and then there was like a residue of the strawberries that were kind of getting in my fridge. I also had like a charcuterie board that I had just wrapped in silicone instead of like individually taking the cheeses and the meats and putting them in separate bags. Hey, I I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. But the one thing that I have not cleaned out yet is these cranberries that have been in the bottom crisper. And I do love how our fridge is set up. It has like the double doors, where the entire top part is the fridge, and then the bottom part, it has like a pull out freezer. And with how our refrigerator is set up, like it is easy to like forget about things in the bottom crispers. Usually I have like a flat of eggs, and then I have like my yogurt in my bottom drawer, and I've had these like cranberries. And I don't know like what I'm afraid of. I've never canned cranberry juice before. It's something that I saw and I was like, oh, like I didn't even think about cranberry juice. It's one of my favorite things to drink. And I saw like all of these, like after Thanksgiving when the cranberries are on sale, like pick yourself up some, you can throw them in a jar. Literally, it is so simple. Like all I have to do is put like a cup and a half of cranberries in a jar, pour hot water over them, and then hot water bath them for like 10 minutes. It's so simple, right? Like it seems so easy. But I'm gonna have to take out my hot water bath pot, which is behind my regular ingredients. We're an ingredient household, okay? So we have flour, we have sugar, we have all the things. And so I have to pull those out, pull that hot water bath pot, put it on my stove. I have to wash my jars, get them all ready. I have to boil water, pour them in the jars, sterilize my lids, put them in the hot water bath. It's just like mentally a lot. I don't know why. It's probably, if I could like actually think about it, we did just get, we butchered a cow, and we just filled our freezer with a partial of a cow. We always split it with my dad, and we had to move out some of the turkeys that we picked up, again, on discount after Thanksgiving, and I had to can 2 turkeys. So in total, I've canned 6 turkeys, which I'm very proud of, and I made bone broth. But that was like a 2-day event. I had to do this last week where I took 2 turkeys. I completely broke them down, as in like sectioning the whole turkey into, meat and bones. And then I canned all the meat. And then the next day I simmered the bones with some of the scraps, like we had like onions and jalapenos and like things that we used for other recipes that I've like thrown in the freezer, and to save them for my bone broth. And then I boil bone broth all day. It starts at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get done boiling until like 8:30, 9 p.m. And then I have to can all of that broth. And I had to do that last Thursday. So it was Wednesday and Thursday last week I did this. And since it's like my 6th round of turkey, I haven't had any energy for the cranberries at all. Like, and even the turkeys, like they had been sitting defrosting in our fridge for like a week, and it like they needed to be canned. So it's like this mental energy around, okay, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing it? And I know the cranberries, honestly, if I really could not find any time to do them, I know that it won't be that big of a deal. Again, I don't ever want to waste. If I could throw them outside, the birds, the squirrels, whatever, could eat the cranberries. But I know that if I just put my mind to it, right, like if I just have a little bit of energy to get started, I know that I can do it, right? Like none of the tasks that we ever have are that hard, right? Even if you're in school and having to write a paper or clean your house, like this weekend I had to clean my house, and again, like I have so much energy and mental weight around these cranberries in the bottom of my fridge. I'm like, okay, but like I first need to clean up the mess that we have, right? Like just regular life of our dishes and our, you know, our life. Our dogs are, it's winter time, they're not going outside as much because it's cold, and the dog hair and all the like energy that we're all dealing with every single day, right? And I'm like, okay, I have to have a clean kitchen before I can even get started on the cranberries. And I know that like all the steps will soon fall into place. And next week I'll probably be chatting with you and saying I finally got my cranberries done. But it's just like, okay, you're never going to be able to do it all. You are never going to be able to handle all areas of your life perfectly. That's the truth. Like, you are never going to be able to give 100% to your work, 100% to your spouse or your loved one, 100% to your children if you have them, 100% to your health, 100% into you, 100% into, you know, your extended family. And the sooner that you can put that in perspective, the happier you will be. This is something that I've been struggling to learn and struggling to kind of imprint in my brain. I cannot do it all. As hard as I try, as many little habits and routines and steps that I take, I am not going to be able to balance it all and do it all. And so some things might go to the wayside. And that's okay. It's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but you only have so many hours in the day, and your focus is so important, and where you gauge that focus and where you send that focus is going to take focus away from something else, right? That's the whole point of where you are directing your energy. And so my energy right now is growing my community. My focus right now is on my podcast and on the Golden Gal Network. It is not on canning necessarily. Canning is a hobby that I do that brings me joy and brings me happiness, but it's not my end goal. It's not my number one thing. I love to do it. It's something that makes me happy, but it shouldn't be putting like a lot of pressure on me, because hobbies and the things that make us happy, shouldn't always be turned profitably. Like, I think that too many people talk about side hustles or turning their hobbies into side hustles. And we see so many like social media posts about, okay, like I love to, let's say, knit scarves. And they're so good at knitting scarves that they decide to sell scarves on Etsy. And they have 3 different prints. They have a striped one, they have a solid colored one, and then they have a fringe one, whatever. Like, there's 3 different scarves, and they keep getting orders for the fringe one, and they don't ever have like the creative outlet to do the striped one or the solid print one. When we start to profit on our hobbies, right? And I'm not selling any canned goods. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like when you make it, instead of just a hobby or something fun to do, something that you rely on for income, food, whatever, it takes the funness out of it. It takes the desire to do it because it makes your heart happy. And instead, you're like a machine. You're like, okay, I have to like get all of these scarves, crafted, and I have 15 orders for this week, and instead of, a scarf taking me, 3 weeks to do, and I do it leisurely, and I do it when I watch The Housewives or whatever TV show you love to watch, it's now like, oh my gosh, I have 2 days to make 3 scarves. I am working my fingers to the bone, and I am knitting at a rapid rate, right? You can't do everything all the time, and you also should allow your hobbies to remain hobbies without like putting so much pressure on yourself that it has to be perfect. I think that's where we run into a lot of problems as a society as a whole. I love to can, and I love to, practice in my kitchen and try new things. But just because I watched The Bear and think that, you know, Carmi's doing a great job opening a restaurant doesn't mean, oh, you know what, like my apple pie is so good, I want to start a bakery. Absolutely freaking not. And when we dilute our focus, when we're like, okay, like I want to have a podcast and I want to have a social club, and then I also want to start a bakery, and I also got a Breville Bambino for Christmas, and now I'm gonna like make coffee and open a coffee house. Like it's too much. It's diluted focus. And while I love to, and it was my peak of the week, to hang out and to be able to watch one of my very favorite shows on TV and not have the pressure of doing anything, that diverted my focus. I could have, right, like let's say if I wanted to, I could continue posting a daily vlog. I did it for 25 days. What's to say I couldn't do it for 3 months, right? And when I was doing the daily vlog for Vlogmas, I diverted my focus. My house wasn't as clean as it could have been. I didn't go to as many yoga classes as I wanted to. I didn't spend that much quality time with Garrett. It was a time in my life that was hustle and bustle, and next year I might still have that same, you know, hey, I'm gonna do 25 days Vlogmas. I might have this challenge for myself, but just knowing going into it, it's going to dilute your focus in some sort of way, and other things might go to the wayside, like the cranberries in my bottom drawer. And this is not good, this is not bad. I think it's just important to take note of it and know where we are having our energy go to. And just taking inventory of this can allow you to either continue on the trajectory and the path that you're on, or to say, hey, like, why have I been doing this? And is there something I could be doing better with my time? Right? Just not good, not bad, just better. What could I be doing better? So yeah, I have cranberries in my drawer. Maybe I will make juice. Maybe I will throw them the heck outside and let the birds and the bees and the squirrels and whatever the else wants to munch on my cranberries. Maybe I will do that. But again, January, new year, new me, not letting things stress me out. And I've had the focus of just okay. When people tell me something and they, you know, have this expectation of me and they're like, you need to be doing this, or I think that you should reach out to this person and like collaborate with them, do this, do that. Instead of like having to completely speak my piece and be like, no, like actually I think that's a bad idea. Here's XYZ, like this is why I don't think it will work, or trying to focus my attention on changing their opinion. Instead, I just say, okay, thank you for that. Like, thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I don't know, like I feel like we, maybe just me, I put too much emphasis on someone else's opinion of me or the things that I'm doing. And this year I'm releasing all of that. Like I am just releasing the feeling of inadequacy, or even like having to prove myself or prove my opinions to someone else. You are going to be misunderstood. And when you can allow yourself to release the expectation of having someone understand you or know where you're coming from, personally, I think that sometimes I share things with people. Maybe I think it's a friend, or maybe it's a colleague or someone, and I might, you know, lower my wall. I might share something that, you know, is very personal or intimate to my feeling, my being, me. And I share that, and as soon as you share that, right, like it is up for debate, it's up for criticism. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't share things, that you shouldn't, you know, connect with other people in this way. But to know that no matter what comes out of their mouth, like even if you do share something that is so like close to you and so important, managing your energy as in, no matter what this person says, like maybe I do feel the need to like share it with them, but no matter what this person says, no matter their opinion, no matter their ideas that they have for me, my plan, my, whatever, I'm not gonna let that change how I feel. And also, if I share something, it can be a statement. It does not have to be up for debate, right? Like if I say, I love my lime green Stanley Cup, I get upset when I forget my Stanley Cup at home. This is true. Like if I accidentally forget my ice water at home and I'm in my vehicle and I'm going down the road and I have an appointment and I cannot stop, I feel a little sad. I'm like, crap, I'm gonna be dehydrated. I am not gonna have my water. I'm gonna have to purchase water. I hate purchasing water. I have water at home, okay? And I get a little sad and like angry with myself. And I share this with someone. I'm like, I love my lime green Stanley. I hate leaving it at home. It literally makes me upset. And they go, that's dumb. It's a water bottle. Go get a water from the gas station. I just said a statement, okay? Like what I said was not up for debate. I wasn't asking your opinion, right? Like I could just be making a statement to a friend, to a family member, to whomever. It doesn't make my statement bad. It doesn't make their statement or question bad either. But I can just say, okay, thank you. Not even in a rude way. Maybe I just said that kind of rude, right? But you can have it as a statement and you can just allow their comment to be a comment of, okay, I will never share anything with you again. No, you don't even have to shut yourself down like that, but just let them have their own opinion. Let them think what they want because you're allowed to think the things that you want and you cannot control everything and you also cannot do all the things. So why put the emotional energy on someone else when you could be focusing on yourself, when you could be focusing on what is going to make you happy, making a little mental note to make sure that you bring your Stanley home every single day. And you cannot do it all, and just let them think whatever they want. And this honestly, like mindset shift has been so freeing, just freeing. Oh my gosh, like to think, okay, no matter what I say, it doesn't have to be up for debate. It can just be my perspective, my POV, if you will. And if someone has something to comment on it, I don't have to change their opinion. I don't have to let them understand me, because I could go and say, you know what, like this is why it makes me upset that I leave my Stanley at home, because I hate contributing to our world waste. I hate buying a single-use plastic and throwing it away. I hate, taking that employee's time to ring up my item when they could be doing other things with their stuff. I hate that my ice water is never super, super cold when I buy it somewhere. I hate that if I don't drink enough water, I instantly get a headache. And if I don't drink water for multiple days, could run the risk of, like a UTI or something, okay? I could say all of these things and I could try to let them know that me being emotionally attached to my Stanley Cup, has reason and has like important feelings to me, right? Like I could say all of those things, but why? Why? They already have their own opinion of what I'm doing, and that's their point of view. And I don't have to let them understand it. I just wasted so much energy struggling to say my point of view and why they should agree with me. In reality, what's to say if I just go, okay, yeah, you're right. I could just buy one from the gas station. Thank you. Right? Like that's their perspective. That's their point of view. Like I'm not going to get bogged down about it. I need my energy to be focused in other areas. I have a lot that I want to accomplish in 2024. And when it's winter, right? Like when it's shorter days, my energy already is reduced. I try to be high vibe, right? Like I try to be energetic And I allowed myself to have these pockets of energy where like, yes, we're gonna get stuff done. I have a list, we're gonna accomplish it. But in order for me to be productive in those times, I also need times of rest, or I need times of no arguing. Think about how much energy is spent on arguing a point of view. I always go back to like the story of a therapist, or not, I think it was a school counselor. It's a story of a school counselor, and two students were fighting about something, and one thought they were right, the other thought they were right, and the counselor has the two students come in to her office, and they're telling their side. He said this is how I felt, this is my opinion, this is my, point of view. And she takes a snow globe, or like a little dome. I think it was snow globe, I don't know. And she set the snow globe in front of the two students, and she said, student A, whatever that boy's name was, girl's name, what color is the snow globe? And student A said, it's green. Student B looks appalled. And the counselor says, student B, what color is the snow globe? And student B goes, it's obviously red. Then they start fighting again. And the counselor instead goes, you know what, stop fighting, please stand up, switch spots. And she has student A go into student B's spot and student B go into student A's spot. And she has them, open their eyes or whatever. Maybe she switches it, whatever. The student who was in the other student's point of view quickly saw that it was a two-sided snow globe or whatever. And that student A really did see a green side, and student B really did see a red side. And it goes back to walking a mile in someone else's shoes and trying to look at it from their perspective. And that can be like a really high vibe, like very intuitive, like I'm looking inward, also putting myself in the other person's shoes. But they don't always do that for us, right? They always, like, they might not do that for you. So even if you are looking from their perspective, yeah, a Stanley Cup, it's just a cup. But even me thinking, hey, like, that's just not where they have their emphasis. That's not where they have their focus. And that's fine. I'm gonna let them have their opinion. My energy needs to be focused on other things. And when I'm on, I'm gonna be on. And when I'm off, I'm off, okay? I'm watching something on TV, I'm reading a new book, I'm taking an hour-long shower, I'm focused on my red dip nails, I am doing anything and all things that make me happy. Because in the year 2024, we are not worried about other people, we are not worried about their opinions of us. We're just gonna let them think what they want. We're gonna let them have their own journey, because they might really see it as green, or they might really see it as red. And that is not our focus. That is not our problem. And we are just gonna stay in our lane, okay? We are putting the blinders on and we are just moving forward. And a lot of my energy is going into my passion projects. I am vlogging, okay? Like I'm trying to put a video, maybe 2 videos a week out. I am podcasting. I am wanting guests on my Friday podcast episodes for Ask the Gals. And speaking of the gals, the Golden Gal Network, okay? I just had my January event this past weekend and it was amazing. We did a journaling and yoga session. It was so much fun, and it just goes back to the people who you need will find you. As long as you just like give yourself the space to have them like come, right? Like the love of your life, your best friend is not gonna find you while you are like laying in bed watching, a movie marathon. You have to allow the opportunity to present itself by going to a new bookstore or going to the coffee shop or the dog park or wherever to try and like meet friends or meet those connections to network. I always say like we spend so much time networking for our job, networking for, the corporate ladder, making sure our LinkedIn is so good, but why don't we put the same emphasis on our like Facebook friends or Instagram or real life friends, right? Like we don't ever network to find friends. And that's why I started the Golden Gal Network. That's why we are doing in real life events and having monthly meetups. And this past meetup, it was an intuitive session, right? Like we did some yoga. I had Erin Kelly. She was so sweet. She led our yoga session. And it was very like, we did a little bit of a meditation, we did like a flow, and then afterwards we journaled. And in my journal, I first wrote down the things that I knew I did not want. I wrote down like, I am releasing XYZ, and I wrote them down. They're very personal to me. And the next thing, by the end of 2024, right, the start of 25, and I know it's so hard to put next year in perspective when we have just started 2024, but I was thinking of the woman that I want to be come January 8th this time next year, right, or January 1st this time next year. And once I was envisioning that woman, I was able to write down all the things that I wanted, and now I can find out how I'm gonna get there, right? Like I have my goal, now I'm gonna look for the steps to get there. And I realized that I wanted to invoke more creative energy. I wanted to be vlogging and working on my technique. And I wanted to be creating a podcast and collaborating with other individuals on my Friday episodes. And I wanted to be building a community, and I wanted to be having monthly meetups because I love planning events. I love planning parties and getting people together for connection. And it just like, I loved the part that it was like so intuitive, so relaxing. And then afterwards we grabbed coffee and we were sitting around and talking, and everyone kind of was talking about their word of the year. That was part of like our journaling session. And some girls were like wanting to, and I forget the exact word that she said, but basically standing up for herself and to be proud of the woman she is and speak up. Advocate. I think her word was advocate for herself, if I'm remembering correctly. She wanted to advocate for herself. She wanted to be loud, assertive, like any of those things. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Another girl had peace. She would be peaceful within herself. And like just hearing what other people had to say about their journey made me realize that some of the things that I'm so focused on and like so worried about, like, oh my gosh, it has to be perfect. Like I have to have my cranberries done, and my house has to be clean, and I have to put a podcast out, and I have to do this, and I have to make sure that my weekly newsletter is out, and I have to be doing all of these crazy things. And someone else's perspective or someone else's focus could be totally different. And it puts it in perspective of, why are we even fretting? Like the things that are meant for us will come to us, and the things that we are working so hard to develop and invoke, like they will get there, right? We have to have all the pieces of the puzzle before we're able to piece it together. And the puzzle piece that we are missing, we might have to develop a little bit to get it. We might have to walk down the road and open up the opportunity for that thing before it can actually be granted to us. And I hope that this helps put it in perspective for you. If you are, thinking that something is the end all be all, if you are worried about something, the outcome of this, and it could feel like the end of the world at this moment. You're studying for boards, you are taking a test, you are, wanting this to land this job interview or find the right boyfriend. Just thinking, okay, am I even spending enough focus in this area, or am I feeling too much focus? Like, am I spending too much time on it? And to know that everybody has a different point of view, a different perspective, and somehow they all come together and we all are linked in some way. And you never know what loose tie is going to bring you to your next journey or your next step. And I guess I'm just here to tell you that we're all in this together. We're all on our little journey and struggling with things. And and not to let the noise become too loud, not to let the voice in your head tell you that you're running out of time or that you have to do it all today, all this week. We're starting on the second week of January. You have plenty of time. You have 350 days now. You're gonna figure it out. I believe in you. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.